Hey there, Jess Lippman here. I'm excited to address a challenge that I hear a lot of people bring up, especially within mindfulness training, life coaching, and the healing arts. And this challenge or this belief is that the marketplace is flooded with coaches, with trainers, with these practitioners, and there's a lot of competition. It's too busy. There's a lot of noise on the internet. Everyone's offering the same thing. So how am I going to actually call in people? And are there enough people to even support, especially with this influx of, especially mindfulness coaches, but life coaching, etc. And so I just want to address this because this belief can lead you, if you're a client-centered service provider, to approach your business from that belief system and start to hang back a little, or only go 50% in, or feel hesitant or reluctant about even embarking on this journey of impact. And I want to address this so that you can perhaps understand other ways to see the competition that you're actually amidst in the marketplace, and that will ultimately help you really navigate the competition and address that within your overall messaging, within your overall brand approach, within the services and the products you provide your clients and your audience. And so that's a really great way to leverage the insight that your competition has, is to start to think about, how can I start to position myself in a way that speaks to this, that speaks to some of the challenges or the beliefs or the behavior of my audience already. And so we'll kind of talk about that here in this video right now. And so the first piece I'll just say is that I don't think your fellow mindfulness trainers, life coaches, and healing arts practitioners are your actual competition. I think there's plenty of space for everyone to thrive, to everyone to provide their impact, and that, in fact, mindfulness and healing and personal development is really taking off right now because people are in need of support out there. People are suffering in a lot of different ways, whether it's in interpersonally or in their careers, or people are starting to really feel the burnout and the overwhelm of these times. And so there's a real need for your services. And with that, we're seeing a real influx of people who are showing up for that call, who are becoming coaches and getting trained. I'm trained in unified mindfulness system of mindfulness, and I've seen so many people come through who are like, I'm ready to really do this and support people in learning and practicing mindfulness because it can provide so much fulfillment and so much relief in life. And so I find it really inspiring to see this wave of interest and necessity coming through, not just in the marketplace of coaches who are coming through and coming up, but also there's a real need for these services. And so that's one piece. And I know that seeing that influx and seeing all these coaching programs emerging can create this sense that, wow, there's a lot of coaches and practitioners out there. How am I going to stand out? How can I position myself so that people know how to find me or how to choose me versus someone else? And so all of that is normal to arise as you see this growing interest around us. And so I just want to name that. And I'll share some of my insights around what and who I think are your actual competition. The first one is, I think, one of your competitors is the inherent unwillingness to practice meditation or other modalities and tools that require consistency and effort in order to yield results. So that's actually one of the biggest challenges that I would say mindfulness coaches do face as they share these modalities with other people, is this real roadblock around creating consistent practices, that a lot of people really want a quick fix. And for example, meditation is not necessarily a quick fix. It's something that you get to integrate into your life in meaningful and consistent ways. And over time, you start to really taste the rewards and the benefits of that commitment to a practice. It's not something that goes from 0 to 100 and someone solved your issues and you have one session with a mindfulness coach and you're done. That's, at least not in my experience, that is not how it works. And that's okay. But that's what I'm saying is that is one competitor that as a practitioner, you are facing that. And you get to address that in your services, in your programs, and support people in going through that, moving past that so that they can gain momentum and consistency and results. And so I would say that's a competitor, and then an opportunity for you as a service provider is to figure out how to support people, knowing that that is a very common experience and phenomena that you will face as a practitioner. So that's number one. Another competitor that you have is the attention economy. And if you're watching this video, it's probably on social media. And so the attention economy is just, I would say, this slate of different platforms, digital spaces that are calling our attention in constantly. That there's push notifications on your mobile device. So maybe every time an email comes in or every time someone engages on your posts in Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you might get a notification that pings you and lets you know, and then you go into the app and you start to engage again. And it's quite reactive. This whole mechanism is very reactive. It's not you choosing to make a decision in that moment to explore and be active there. You are reacting to something that is pinging you. And so this, I would say, is your competition, especially as a mindfulness trainer, but also life coaches and healing arts practitioners. This is something that you get to address in your programs and services and the ways that you support people in gaining results. And this also, I would say, this way of interacting with the digital sphere is definitely impacting our levels of fulfillment and suffering as human beings. And so we are tasked now with really contending with this, with really looking at what are the implications of the user experience of new media that we are all now not only privy to, but fully engaged in. And it's become very procedural. So it's like very automatic to engage with mobile devices in that way or any kind of digital media. And what does that mean for you as a practitioner? How might people find your services? What kind of commitments are people willing to make for their personal development, for their well-being? How does that impact the work that you do with people? And this is a big question. I'm excited to actually address that separately in another space because there's so much depth there and there's so much to really explore there, because I think this is a very important question to ask and a really important competitor to think about when you are marketing your services and enrolling clients and putting yourself out there and sharing your mission and message. You want to be thinking about the attention economy and how people are already operating in the space, and also what's the impact of this user experience on our mindset, on our spiritual health, on our relationship to self, on our relationships with other people, on our careers, etc. You have this really beautiful opportunity to steward people through this space and help people ultimately become more intentional with the ways that they use digital media, new media, and lots of opportunity there. There's more to say on this about like who your competitors are. I do want to say though that I think your competition is not fellow mindful expanders, people who are mindfulness coaches, life coaches, healing arts practitioners. And in fact, your community of fellow practitioners are one of your greatest resources and wellspring of support and innovation and impact that you have access to in your business, especially if you're just starting out. And because one thing to know is that strategic partnerships are a really integral and important part of a thought leadership business model, especially when you are just starting out. Because the alternative is that, let's say you know about paid social, you know about paid ads, you can put money into getting in front of people, and then that's really targeted. You're spending money, you're having your resources get right in front of the audience that you want to be in front of, and that costs money up front. And so the alternative is that you can actually build your business organically, and there's lots of different ways to do that with digital marketing. And one of those ways within that overall business model is strategic partnerships. So really partnering with people who are doing similar work and can serve as companions to perhaps the work that you offer people or the services that you offer. Maybe there's someone out there who does something a little bit differently than you, but actually really unifies with you in a meaningful way and adds tons of value for people in ways that perhaps you wouldn't be able to do on your own. There's tons of ways to partner that are really gratifying, that help you feel connected, that give you a sense of belonging as you and other practitioners are all committed to making your impact. And it really makes it fun and meaningful. But not only that, you also get to be in front of each other's audiences and to serve each other's audiences with different resources and overall expand your impact and do it together. And so I think that's such an important way to build and scale your impact, especially within the personal development space, and to know that it's important to rise together and that you actually can thrive even more when you partner with people instead of siloing yourself off or saying that person's my competition and we can't really work together because we are calling in the same exact person. I would definitely reconsider that thought and start to look at how can we come together in meaningful ways that add so much value and that allow people to be exposed to us both. And then the key here is, and this is what I help people do, is how to engage strategic partnerships strategically and effectively and in alignment with your values. So that's one thing I'm going to be helping people with in Mindful Marketing Monthly, which is my new business group program. We're going to go into all of that, how to find strategic partners, how to know when it's an aligned partnership, and then who do you build a business with versus who do you run a workshop with, etc. And there's so many other ways to engage partnerships. We're going to dive into that, but we're also going to look at the real impact of doing this at scale and what this could really do for your business for the long term, so that you can really diversify your audience, continue to expand, and do so organically, and really support each other along the way. And just to acknowledge that you are not against each other. You have this real beautiful opportunity to work together and to collaborate and to forge, paths and create programs that really integrate all your modalities, etc. I have some really beautiful strategic partnerships of my own. One, really dominant strategic partnership I have in my business is with my friend and colleague, Jordan F. Tanis, and we co-founded Being Resilient together. So we get to run burnout prevention and leadership and strategic wellbeing program in organizations. And that is so much fun. We really... We've gotten to learn a lot in the process and do it together and troubleshoot things and explore the B2B model together. And it's just been so meaningful. And the cool thing about it is that going into it, I had no idea what it was going to be like. So there's this real mystery to dance with when you partner with people. You're collaborating, so you are inviting in energy that is new and distinct and not your own. And so new things will be born from that, things that you can't see right here, right now. It's set in the future. And so you get to really think about there's so much mystery to hold space for in that. And so many beautiful things can emerge from that kind of partnership. I've learned so much about collaboration and about building something together by working with Jordan. I've also had the opportunity to work with people who I may not have originally thought to work with before, like working in creative agencies. This is something that I might not have directly gravitated toward on my own. And doing that with her has really revealed to me this real love and passion and sincere interest in supporting people in that kind of space. So that's just some of the fruit that's emerged. And there's lots of other really beautiful reasons to partner with people and to go in on this together. I am excited about this too, because in Mindful Marketing Monthly, this is a group program. So there's people coming in from somatic therapists to mindfulness coaches to people in the healing art space, people who do shamanic and energetic work, life coaches, all coming together in this space to really work on building out their businesses, whether they're going to create online courses or launch programs or get into the email marketing and social media game or up-level their processes and systems so that they're taking payment through specific systems and creating workflows that streamline the client journey, etc. We're doing it all together. And so we are all going to be sharing about the results we're getting and perhaps the roadblocks we're facing and get support in this beautiful group container of expanders. So this is a great space to meet potential partners and to see what other people are doing out in the world and see how you can synergize and collaborate together to put forth meaningful services in support of people. These are really trying times we live in, and your work is meaningful, and the work of all of you is actually quite meaningful. And so I hope this supports you in understanding a little bit more, at least my perspective on strategic partnerships and all the benefits of doing it. And to know that, it's not easy collaborating with people. There's reasons why people run programs themselves or just are solopreneurs and don't want to work with people and run their business by themselves. There's reasons for that. It's because collaboration is hard, and sometimes it takes compromise, and sometimes it means, that we have challenging conversations. But I do want to say that, you have the toolkit to navigate that skillfully. And there's so much beauty and abundance that can also really be experienced when you make space for this kind of exploration, if it calls out to you. But I personally find it to be quite meaningful, and one of the real joys in my own journey as an entrepreneur and as someone who runs my own business and runs every department of my business. It's really nice to be able to collaborate with people and have conversations live sometimes and talk about pressing issues that face our industry or that challenges people are facing out in the world and how these modalities can help them. I find that really gratifying. I find it really energizing and enlivening, and it reminds me of why I do the work I do. And to connect with other people that feel equally passionate about it, it's heart-opening, it's expansive, it's inspiring, and it can energize you as you continue to forge the path forward in your own impact and and do things that are hard. Not everything in business is fun or easy, but it's meaningful. That's why we're doing this. We're doing this because it's meaningful, and it allows us to touch in and cultivate our values. And so, I invite you to explore strategic partnerships and see how it can support you on your path and open to the mystery that is available when you take that leap and experiment and collaborate. So I'm sending you goodness. 2 days left to join Mindful Marketing Monthly at this inaugural launch. So I invite you, if this calls out to you, if this feels like an aligned time to join this kind of supportive container as you sustainably scale your impact, then I invite you to check out the program. You can DM me or check out the link in bio. And I hope to see you in there. Again, 2 days left. So the deadline is September 9th at midnight to join at the inaugural level. And I am sending you goodness. Okay,